Welcome to this episode of Wanderlust Solo Women Travel Unscripted. Real women, real stories, real journeys, and no filter. Join Gina, your host, to share the experiences and stories of solo female travelers and advocates from all over the world, with a mission to empower women of all ages, backgrounds, and life stages to embrace solo female travel with confidence and enthusiasm, while being authentic and real, unscripted. Confronting the challenges and apprehensions many women face when considering solo adventures, providing inspiration to break through those barriers. Sharing how life transitions, loss, and trauma can lead to amazing experiences, rediscovery, and life journeys. The good, the bad, and the ugly of authentic and honest travel. So let's throw out the script, get comfy, and jump right into this episode.
Hello and welcome everyone to this episode of Wanderlust Solo Women Travel Unscripted. So I'm glad to be home from Bali. I was there for about 3 weeks hosting 2 group trips, which were amazing. They all had their challenges, but overall it was lots of fun and I was totally worn out by the end of it. But I'm glad to be back in here hosting another episode. Today we're going to be talking about aging and how we feel about our own age, as I have noticed that sometimes I get a lot of questions when people want to come on trips, women want to come on trips about their age. They're concerned their age is either going to hold them back, hold others back, they won't fit in. So I really want to delve into this conversation a little bit more. But firstly, I'll start with our signature pass the parcel question. So our last question from the previous guest, which was Trista, which was a really good episode if you didn't actually listen. So go back and check that out. But she asked, which is a really good question, if you could create a themed around the world trip, like food, music, history, or adventure, what would your theme be and what would your stops look like? So I love history, but I also love food and culture. So I thought a mix of Indiana Jones and Anthony Bourdain. So think of all the amazing historical sites in the world mixed with their local food and culture. So that would be my ideal themed trip around the world. I think it would be amazing to go and investigate some amazing historical sites in the world. I've been lucky enough to been to a few, like Petra in Jordan, the temples and pyramids in Egypt, just to name a few. I've been very fortunate like that, but I love ancient history. It just fascinates me, but I also love delving into people's culture and their food. So I think that will be a really perfect theme around that. So thanks for that question. So carrying on, so age. I want to know, and please share, I just turned 54. I don't like aging. I don't think any woman does. And I'm in that age bracket now where a lot of women aren't seen. They feel invisible. They've either passed their expiry date as far as dating and being valuable in the community. At least that's what society has taught us or shown us. And I get really concerned when I hear women saying that they feel that they won't fit in or they won't be able to keep up, and they worry that their age is an issue when it comes to travel. I have met some incredible women of all ages while I've been traveling. And I think that's a really important thing to consider. I don't think we all have to travel with our age bracket. I mean, one thing that's kept me young, at least in my mind, my body might not keep up, but in my mind, is intergenerational conversations. You know, I love talking to younger people and hearing their perspectives on life. And not every young person wants to party and do the yahooing and that while they're traveling. Of course, there's a lot that do, but they want to have good, genuine connections as well. And I think that's a really important part of travel, is getting everybody's perspective. I mean, I've heard some amazing stories from older women, you know, in their 70s plus, that are still traveling, and the stories they share are incredible, and I love hearing them. I've been on group trips where it's been from 20 to 70-year-olds, and I think as long as you come together with a like mind, people don't care about your age. I found this when I went and did my big OE when I turned 40. I traveled actually with a lot of younger people because I was backpacking, and so that social circle was younger. Not once did they ask my age, or it never seemed to be a consideration of them involving me in their activities. I mean, obviously, there's the physical things. We can't get away from our physical limitations. That's just practical. As we age, sometimes, yes, we slow down, things hurt more, things are harder to do, things are harder to keep up with. But that, I think, is, you choose a trip that is also around your physical abilities. That's no matter your age. But I really don't want women to think that they don't fit in because of their age. Take that leap, try it and see. Don't make your age such a important factor when you're making these decisions. I think we're so ingrained with aging, and I'm guilty myself. I'm very self-conscious because of my age now. I don't really know how to dress anymore because things I wore when I was younger, I probably can't get away with now. Yet there's a lot of stuff that's for my age group, which I don't really dig that much. So it's really hard to find a space to fit in. If you're single and dating, all the dating apps, all the guys our age are after younger women, and all the ones that are interested in our age are like our dads. It's really disheartening to see that society doesn't value you as a sexy, vibrant woman anymore. Things are slowly changing. There's a lot more education coming out about perimenopause and menopause and how that affects women. I mean, that's very much more going on in your head and psychologically with hormones than it is with down below, and those studies are coming out more and more, and it's getting talked about. So it's how things are changing in our lives at this age after 40 into your 50s. If you've had kids, they're leaving home, things are changing there. Your relationship may have changed, it may have broken down, you might have become separated or a widow, your career takes a different path, or your priorities change. That's the other thing. You find that there's certain things you value more. And one of the things you should really value is yourself. So much we get really weighed down in day-to-day life, juggling work, side hustles, children, family commitments, running a household. There becomes very much no time for you anymore, and you lose sight of who you are. And that is part of the aging process, where you get to a certain age and we go, I don't even know who I am anymore. So this is where travel becomes such an important wellness tool to really rediscover who you are. And remember to play, remember to have joy. I was always so self-conscious in photos. I didn't feel I looked right. And I look back at those photos now and I think I don't even know what I was worried about. Now I tell everybody, have fun, laugh, be silly. You're only going to be that age once, and you'll look back and you'll appreciate them. It's a game, have fun with it. Don't worry about being, you're never going to, or not all of us, are going to compete with the Instagram models and influencers. So have fun with it. Be silly. Jump on that swing, have a play, jump on that bike and go biking for the first time. Do all these things, and dance and sing. Like, no one cares. That's the glorious thing about travel. You can do all these things and no one cares. They have no judgment on you. And I think that is one of the most wonderful and liberating things about travel. So I really want to have a good conversation about aging, how you feel about aging. Has it affected you in the decisions you make and around life in general, and about travel? Do you think it holds you back? I'd love to share that in the comments, but reach out. I'd love to talk to you also if you have either found your age is no barrier and how you really are empowered by that, or you are scared and you do worry about your age and how you will fit in, especially when it comes to group travel, and how will you connect with other people. So let me know. I really want to have an open conversation about this. But from my own personal experience, I'm more empowered now, and I've had a different travel experience doing it later in life than I would have had when I done it travel when I was young. I really appreciate that. I think I've had more in-depth, genuine connections. I'm not saying younger people don't, but my focus was different. I take joy in the little things now. I really love slow travel. I love in-depth travel where you're really connecting with locals. I love getting off beaten tracks, going down those side streets, finding the local shops and markets, going to quirky places that maybe aren't on the tourist path. And I think that's come with confidence also. And that's the other thing that I have also noticed with women as they age. They lose their confidence. I have known, and I've got some very close friends that were avid travelers when they were young. Now we're going back to the 80s and the 90s. So this is before technology, before all these things that we rely on now. And they were going to Africa and South America and all these amazing places without any of the tools and tech we have now. And they don't have that confidence anymore. Yet, and also to share those stories if you have children and young girls especially. Share those stories with them or capture them in some way, because they need to know that their mum was an adventurer. She did go out and do these amazing things. I think that's really important to empower your children to know that, you as a parent had a life before. So they are capable. You are capable. You have been capable. So what has changed in yourself that you no longer think you are? So ask those questions and maybe start small. You don't have to jump on a plane and travel 3,000 kilometers. Start small. If you're doing it by yourself, go out for lunch by yourself, go on a day event, go on a weekend event, a weekend retreat. Start doing little things by yourself to start building up that confidence, then take a shorter trip. Don't leap into, 3 months of travel, take little baby steps. If you were like me, I did jump into 8 months of travel with a one-way ticket. But for some people, jumping in the deep end like that is a bit too much. For me, it's what I needed. It was either sink or swim. So you realize just how capable you are when you're put into that situation. So my main message for all of this is think about, is your age impacting the way you make decisions, especially when it comes to exploring and adventuring in all sorts of ways? And if it is, why? Why is it impacting you? What is it about your age that you think are your limitations? And then break that down and then start dismantling those barriers and get out there. Start exploring, start being bold, start being that confident you and rediscover who you are. You will not look back. So I just want to end on that positive note. And with our Pass the Parcel question, we have the amazing Tina Hines coming up in the next episode. She's an amazing woman. And again, another person you can get a lot of inspiration off. She went through some pretty scary stuff while she was traveling, but stuck at it. And she's a pretty empowering woman. But the question I asked her, did she ever have an aha moment while she was traveling, and if so, what it was? So stay tuned to find out what her answer is. And in the meantime, remember, it's never too late to unleash your wanderlust.
Thanks for listening. Please share the love by liking, commenting, or subscribing, or join us in our Facebook community.